The large metal door opened with a deep hiss. Bright, white lights filled the long hallway. Everyone turned to look. She walked in slowly, calm, alone. The aliens whispered to each other in different languages. Their voices were full of laughter, surprise, and doubt. "She's the human?" one asked. "She looks so soft," said another. "She won't last 5 minutes," a tall green alien smirked. The human woman didn't look at them. She just kept walking forward, her black boots making sharp sounds on the metal floor. Her body was small compared to the giant aliens around her. Her skin was smooth, her hair short, and her eyes calm like still water. Her name was Lieutenant Kara Rain. She was the first human ever invited to the Coalition combat trials. The trials were meant to test warriors from different alien races. Only the strongest, fastest, and smartest passed them. Most aliens trained for years before stepping into the trial room. But Kara, she had only arrived 2 days ago, and today she volunteered. No weapons, no armor, just her mind and body. The alien commander, a red-scaled creature with 4 eyes, stepped forward. He looked down at her. "Human, do you understand what this test means?" he asked. "Yes," Kara replied simply. "You will face a simulation designed to push your limits," he said. "Most fail, some die." Kara didn't blink. "I understand." The commander nodded, though his eyes showed doubt. "Begin the trial," he ordered. The test arena was a huge circular room. Its walls were silver and high. Cameras floated in the air, recording every move. Aliens sat in raised seats around the room, watching from behind force fields. They had come from many planets to see the new species. Everyone expected the same thing: a struggle, a failure, maybe even a death. Kara stood in the middle of the room. A soft blue light glowed above her. A robotic voice said, "Trial begin." At once the walls changed. Huge blocks shot up from the floor. Laser turrets appeared on the sides. Drones flew down from above, firing stun blasts. Kara didn't move. For 5 seconds she stood still, eyes closed. Then she moved, not like the others had. Not with fear, not with panic. She ducked the first laser, rolled forward under a flying drone, grabbed a metal rod from the ground and hurled it into a turret. Boom! The turret exploded. The audience gasped. Kara ran straight toward the wall. Lasers chased her. She didn't look back. She leapt, 1, 2, 3, using the rising blocks like stairs. A drone flew to block her. She kicked off the last block, flipped in the air, and punched the drone. Sparks flew. Then something strange happened. She slammed her fist into the metal wall. A deep shockwave echoed. The wall dented. The crowd leaned forward, shocked. Kara stepped back and punched again. This time the wall broke. A hole tore open in the arena. Smoke rose. Metal fell. The crowd went silent. In the control room, Commander Thrall watched in disbelief. "She broke the wall," he said slowly. "No weapon," said the technician. "No implants. No tech." "Is that even possible?" another asked. "She used pure force," the technician replied. Commander Thrall narrowed his eyes. "Replay that. Slow motion." They did. And the truth became clear. Kara's body had moved with perfect speed, perfect aim, and controlled fury. Her punch had hit the weakest point in the wall. She knew exactly where to strike. She studied the structure, Thrall said. She didn't act blindly. Back in the arena, Kara stood near the broken wall, breathing slowly. The test paused. The robotic voice said, "Trial incomplete. Error detected." The alien audience began to murmur. Some clapped, others looked angry. "She cheated," someone yelled. "No, she didn't," another shouted. "She beat the system." "She's dangerous. She's brilliant." Kara walked back to the center of the room, her face still calm. Commander Thrall entered the arena. He looked at her closely. "Explain," he said. "I saw a weak point." Kara replied. You weren't supposed to attack the wall. I was told to survive. Thrall frowned. This test was made for elite soldiers. I passed, Kara said simply. Thrall didn't speak for a few seconds. Then he said, You broke something that wasn't meant to be broken. Kara smiled. Slightly. Maybe you shouldn't have made it weak. Later that day, the council met in private. There were 12 of them. All different species. All powerful. They watched the video over and over. She used no alien tech, said one. Her strength is natural. Her strategy was faster than our simulations expected. Is she unique? No, said the oldest member. She is human, the first to be tested. There was silence. Should we stop more humans from joining? Someone asked. No, said the elder. We must learn more. A younger member leaned forward. Or control them. The room went quiet again. Kara sat in her small room that night, watching stars through the window. Her hands were still a little sore, but she didn't care. Knock came at the door. It was a scientist named Drill, a small, pale alien with wide yellow eyes. You surprised everyone, he said. I know, Kara said. They didn't expect you to pass. They expected me to struggle. Drill looked around, then whispered, You didn't struggle. You broke the system. Kara didn't answer. She just looked back at the stars. They'll test you again, Drill said. Harder this time. I hope so, Kara replied. In a dark corner of the space station, another figure watched the replay alone. He was tall, wearing a cloak, his face hidden. He paused the video on the moment Kara punched the wall. A small smile appeared on his lips. She's the one, he whispered. Then he disappeared into the shadows. The news of the humans' trial spread fast across the galaxy. Videos were shared. Debates began. Is humanity a threat? Some asked. Or are they the hope we've been waiting for? On Earth, people celebrated Kara's success. But the Earth military didn't cheer. They studied the footage silently. She made a statement, a general said, and the galaxy heard it. What happens next? Someone asked. We wait, said the general. And prepare. Back on the station, Commander Thrall watched Kara's profile again. Strength, above normal speed, advanced tactics, unpredictable danger level, unknown. He tapped his desk. This isn't the end, he said, to himself. This is the beginning. He didn't know how right he was, because Kara wasn't done, not even close. The news spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, on every coalition world, one name kept showing up on the screens, Lieutenant Kara Rain, the human who broke the trial. Some called her a cheat, others called her a genius. But everyone agreed. On one thing, no one expected this. In a large alien school on planet Tovar, young soldiers in training watched the video again and again. She punched through the wall, one shouted. No way she's normal, said another. They hid something inside her. But one of the instructors, a gray-skinned veteran with old scars, just smiled. No, he said, that's not tech, that's precision, timing, control. He paused the video. Look at her footwork, the way she moves. She reads the room like it's a book. The students went quiet. She didn't win by power, he said. She won by knowing what to hit. Back at the space station, Kara sat in a cold room with glowing lights above her. Her wrists were free, but 2 guards stood behind her. Across the table sat Dr. Zorix, head of the Coalition's Science Division. He was thin, with a long head and silver eyes. Lieutenant Kara, he said softly, we have questions. Ask, Kara replied. No implants, no illegal drugs, no body mods, no hidden tech, no. Zorix folded his hands. You passed a test designed for elite alien soldiers, then you broke the wall. Do you know how rare that is? Kara looked him in the eyes. Maybe you don't understand humans yet. Zorix blinked. Enlighten me. Kara leaned forward. When you put a human in a box, we don't try to survive inside it. We look for the weak spot and get out. The council was still arguing. She's not dangerous, said one voice. She's smart. She's very dangerous, said another, because she's smart. Maybe it's not just her, someone added. Maybe all humans are like this. The elder counselor raised a hand. There's one way to find out. We send her a real challenge. What kind? Grok. The room went silent. Grok has never lost a battle. Someone whispered. She'll die, another muttered. Or she'll win, the elder said. And if she does, we'll truly know what we're dealing with. In the training area, Grok stood with arms crossed. He was a giant, 8 feet tall, muscle from head to toe, skin like rock. Grok had won 200 combat trials. He came from a war planet where only the strongest survived. When he heard he would fight the human, he laughed. Is she a child? He asked. No, the commander said. She's dangerous. Grok flexed his fists. Good, I was getting bored. Kara stood in her room, tying her hair back. She had slept only 4 hours. Her knuckles still hurt. She looked at herself in the mirror. No fear, just focus. A message flashed on her screen. Trial round 2. Combat with subject Grok. Volunteer status confirmed. Kara pressed accept. The arena had changed. This time there was no simulation, no flying drones, no lasers, just a flat steel floor and 2 people. The crowd had tripled. Aliens filled the seats, excited and loud. They wanted to see the human fall. Grok entered first. His heavy steps shook the floor. He wore simple armor on his chest and large gloves to protect his fists. He raised his arms and roared. The crowd cheered. Then Kara walked in. No armor, no weapons, just a tight black shirt and dark pants. Silence. Some laughed. Others whispered, "She's going to die." No chance. She broke a wall. She might break him too. The bell rang. Grok moved fast, faster than anyone thought possible for someone his size. He threw a massive punch. Kara dodged, sliding under his arm. He turned quickly and swung again. She ducked and stepped back. She didn't attack. Not yet. She was watching, calculating. Grok charged forward like a beast. Kara moved to the side. He missed and hit the wall behind her. The arena shook. Cracks formed in the wall. Kara's eyes widened slightly. Even his missed hits were deadly. But she stayed calm. "Run, little human," Grok shouted. "It will hurt less." Kara didn't answer. She stepped forward instead. The next 10 seconds happened fast. Grok swung again, straight punch. Kara ducked, grabbed his arm, and used his momentum to flip herself over his back. She didn't try to bring him down. She wasn't strong enough for that. Instead, she used her feet to land a sharp kick into the side of his neck. He stumbled. The crowd gasped. Grok turned, angry. "You think you can hurt me?" Kara said nothing. Grok charged again. She dropped to the ground and swept his legs. He fell, but caught himself with one arm. He roared and jumped back to his feet. She had to move fast now. She slid past his guard and struck. 1, 2, 3 hits, targeting the joints in his armor. Her punches weren't random. They were aimed at the weak spots, the places between his plates, the places where nerves lived. Grok howled and threw a backhand swing. This time, he hit her. Kara flew across the floor. She hit the wall hard. Her shoulder cracked. Pain exploded through her arm. She coughed and stood up slowly, blood on her lip. The crowd went wild. Grok laughed. "You fall like the others." Kara wiped her mouth. Then she smiled. "Your footwork is bad," she said. Grok growled. "Your center is too open." He charged again. This time, Kara didn't move away. She moved toward him. Right before he could grab her, she dropped low and slammed her elbow into his knee. He shouted in pain. She jumped and landed a spinning kick to the side of his head. He fell, The arena went quiet. Kara didn't stop. She jumped on his back and struck the back of his neck with her elbow again and again. Then she stepped back. Grok tried to rise. His arms shook. His knees failed. He collapsed to the ground. Out cold, the robotic voice echoed, "Trial complete. Victor, human subject Kara Rain." The arena was silent for 3 full seconds. Then chaos. Half the crowd stood in shock. Others cheered. Some booed. Grok's team rushed in to help him. Commander Thrall stood with wide eyes. "She beat Grok," he whispered. "No tricks, no armor. She just beat him." Kara walked out of the arena, arm bleeding, shoulder broken. She didn't speak. She just looked up at the cameras. Let them watch. Let them talk. Let them wonder. In the council chamber, the debate had changed. "She's not just dangerous," one said. "She's a weapon." "No," the elder said slowly. "She's more than that." "What now?" asked another. "Now," said the elder, "we stop underestimating her." Back in the medical bay, a nurse scanned Kara's injuries. "You should rest," he said. "You have fractures." "I've had worse," Kara replied. "You fought like you knew every move Grok would make," he said. "I've trained for bigger monsters," Kara said. "Back on Earth, we call them instructors." The nurse chuckled, nervous. She didn't laugh. That night, in a quiet part of the station, the hidden figure returned. He watched the fight video again. "She adapts," he whispered. "Too fast." He tapped his communicator. "Begin phase 2, he said. "She must be studied or stopped." The entire station was talking about it. Every hallway, every screen, every whisper. The human beat Grok. It didn't seem real. Grok was a legend. His name was known on 10 planets. Some called him a living tank. Others said he had no weakness. Now, he was lying in a healing pod, silent and broken. And Kara Rain? She walked the corridors like nothing happened. The next morning, Kara entered the cafeteria. Aliens moved aside without a word. Some stared. Some lowered their eyes. She picked up a cup of hot black tea and sat near a window, watching a cargo ship fly past. A young alien soldier, green-skinned with nervous eyes, came up to her table. "May I ask something?" he said. Kara nodded. "How did you beat him?" "Grok?" Kara sipped her tea. "He expected fear. I gave him math." "Math?" She smiled a little. "Every move has a pattern. I saw his." The soldier blinked. "You studied him?" "In the first 10 seconds. He stood there silent, unsure what to say. "Train harder," she said, "and never repeat your mistakes." He nodded and left quickly. In the command chamber, Commander Thrall watched her through a camera feed. "She's not just strong," he said. "She's focused, cold, always reading." Dr. Zorix, the science officer, stood nearby. He looked worried. "She fights like a machine," Zorix said. "But she bleeds like us." "Not like us," Thrall said. "She bleeds and keeps going." They both watched the footage of Kara fighting Grok. Then Zorix asked, "What if she's only the first?" On the edge of Coalition territory, a secret lab floated near a dying star. Inside, a council of scientists sat around a dark table. "She was supposed to fail," one of them said. "She didn't," said another. "Worse, she exposed weaknesses in our trials." A third voice, deeper than the rest, spoke through a hologram. "I warned you. Humans are not simple. They don't just adapt. They learn." "But her body," someone argued, "it's not enhanced, not upgraded. That's what makes it more dangerous." The deep voice paused. "We must test her again, not with a warrior, not with a machine." "What then?" "A predator." Kara was called into a new meeting room. She stepped inside and saw a long glass table. On the other side sat 3 officers she had never met. One of them was General Varn, a thin creature with 6 arms and a voice like broken glass. "Lieutenant Kara Rain," he said. Do you know why you're here? I assume it's not a medal ceremony, she said. He didn't smile. You've made many nervous, he said. Grok's defeat has shifted things. Kara didn't respond. Another officer leaned forward. We want to understand your methods. I see, and if I don't explain, you may not be offered another trial. Kara sipped from the water on the table. That's fine. I've already passed. You didn't pass, Varn said. You broke protocol, twice. I broke expectations. Same thing. The room went quiet. Then Varn said, We're preparing a final test, one that doesn't use rules, or cameras, or an audience. Kara raised an eyebrow. Sounds like a trap. Varn leaned back. No, it's a hunt. The next day, Kara was flown by shuttle to a remote training moon. She was given no weapons, no instructions, only this. Survive for 48 hours. Something will hunt you. You won't see it coming. The shuttle left. She stood on rocky ground, gray skies, jagged cliffs. Wind blew dust across her boots. She closed her eyes and listened. The moon was silent. Too silent. 3 hours passed. Kara climbed the rocks, studied the landscape, marked positions with small stones. She found high ground and made a small shelter. Then she waited. Nothing came. Then she smelled it, oil, metal, blood. She turned, and something fast blurred across the rocks. She couldn't see it fully. Just shape and shadow. It moved like it was skipping time. She dropped low, rolled behind cover and listened. Her heart was steady. She didn't panic. She waited. Again, a blur. Then a voice in her head. Hello, human. She turned. Nothing. New. Trick, she said out loud. Do you know what I am? No, but I know where you'll be. She kicked a loose stone toward her left side. Nothing happened, but then she spun and jumped sideways. Something sharp sliced the air where her neck had been. A tall figure appeared, cloaked in shadows, long claws, glowing blue eyes. It hissed. She stared at it. You're fast, she said, but you're not invisible. It lunged. She ducked, twisted, and slammed her elbow into its ribs. The creature growled in pain. You bleed too, she said. For the next hour, she ran. The creature chased. She dropped traps. It dodged them. She tried tricks. It learned quickly. Each time she hit it, it moved faster the next time. Each time she ran, it followed smarter. She realized something. This wasn't a beast. It was a learning machine. It adapted like she did. Night fell. Kara made a fire and sat near it. Her leg was bleeding. Her ribs ached. She closed her eyes, then a whisper came again. You are different from the others. You're not the first thing that tried to kill me, she said, but I may be the last. She stood, looked into the dark. I don't fight to win, she said. I fight to show you can't break me. She picked up a rock, sharp and heavy. Let's end this. At sunrise, they fought again. Claws versus fists, speed versus focus, pain versus purpose. Kara's body was breaking, but her will didn't bend. Then she saw it, a glitch in its motion, a stutter. She moved fast. She leapt onto its back and jammed the sharp rock into the joint behind its head. It screamed, then exploded in light. Pieces flew across the cliff. Silence returned. Kara fell to her knees. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She just breathed. Hours later, the shuttle arrived. Commander Thrall stepped out and saw the broken machine. You destroyed it, he said. Kara stood slowly. It blinked. I didn't. He looked at her, unsure if he should fear or praise her. Back on the station, reports flew through the system. The Predator failed. The humans survived. Some were amazed. Others were afraid. In a secret room, the hidden figure watched again, his voice calm and cold. She's too dangerous now. She learns too fast. Another voice asked, should we stop her? He replied, no. Let her keep rising. The higher she climbs, the harder she falls. Kara Rain stood in the medical bay, her arm wrapped in smart bandages, 2 ribs cracked, 1 leg bruised, minor burns on her shoulder, but her eyes were clear, focused, unshaken. The doctor said she should rest for at least 3 days. She gave herself 6 hours. On the far side of the station, in a quiet section near the old storage levels, Kara found what she was looking for, the surveillance logs. She had seen something during the last trial. When the predator creature fell apart, it glitched just for a second. Kara saw a symbol flash. Across its skin, not a coalition mark, something else. Now she wanted answers. She slipped past the guards using stolen access codes from a disabled datapad, moved through dark halls like a shadow. No one saw her, not even the cameras. She reached a hidden terminal, old, cold, covered in dust. She connected a device to it, code cracking, searching files, accessing archives, and there it was. File 347A, Project Mimic. Kara opened it. What she saw made her blood turn cold. Dozens of video clips, human trials, not training, not tests, experiments, humans in rooms, surrounded by machines, watched by scientists, some alien, some human. Pain, fear, data collection. Some were labeled failed, terminated. Others said useful, memory wiped. Kara's own name was not there, but one name was Callan Rain, her brother, missing for 3 years. She had been told he died in a supply ship accident. Now she saw footage of him strapped to a table, screaming. She stepped back from the screen, heart pounding. This wasn't just a test program, she whispered. This was a lab. Suddenly, a voice behind her. You weren't supposed to find that. She turned fast, hand ready. It was Dr. Zorix, but his eyes, they weren't calm like before. They were cold, dark. You lied to me, Kara said. Zorix didn't move. We told you what you needed to hear. Where is my brother? Zorix tilted his head. Gone. One of many failures. You, however, you're the result we wanted. Her fist clenched. You used me. He smiled. No, Lieutenant, we studied you, and you gave us more than we expected. Kara lunged. She grabbed Zorix's collar and slammed him against the wall. He didn't struggle. You can kill me, he said, but the program lives without me. Where is it? Zorix gave a short laugh. Everywhere. You've seen the surface. You haven't seen the layers underneath. He looked directly at her. Why do you think we picked you? She stepped back, her voice low. I'm going to tear it all down. That night, Kara returned to her room. She sat in the dark, staring at her hands. Her whole life she had believed in orders, in missions, in structure, but now she knew it was all a lie. The Coalition didn't test her to see if humans could join. They tested her to see how far humans could go before they broke, and, the worst part, they didn't expect her to survive. Elsewhere, the hidden figure finally stepped out of the shadows. He entered a room filled with high-ranking officers and researchers. The lights adjusted to his presence. He wore no uniform, just a long coat and a black symbol on his chest, the same one Kara saw on the Predator machine. Her discovery was not unexpected, he said calmly. One officer looked concerned. She could expose us. She won't, he replied, because she hasn't seen everything yet. What if she tries? The figure walked to the center of the room. She is not the only variable, he said. Activate Subject X9. Let her see what we created from the others. Back in her room, Kara received a message. No sender, just coordinates, a time, and 2 words. He's alive. Her breath caught. Callan. She geared up without waiting for permission. She didn't trust anyone now, no command, no science officer, no general, only her instincts. She followed the map through lower decks and empty tunnels. Eventually she reached a sealed door marked Restricted, Power Level Alpha. She placed her hand on the scanner. It opened. Darkness beyond. She stepped in. The door slammed shut behind her. The lights flicked on, cold, white. She stood inside a massive chamber. Pipes ran along the walls. Tanks filled with green liquid glowed softly, and then, in the center, a glass pod. Inside it floated a human figure, unmoving. Kara rushed forward. "Callan?" He didn't respond. His eyes were closed. Wires ran into his back and neck. Machines beeped softly. She slammed her fist on the control pad. "Release him!" A robotic voice replied, "Subject X9 is not ready for external interaction." She froze. X9, her hand hovered over the emergency release. Then the hidden figure's voice echoed through the room. "He is not your brother anymore." Kara turned. Slowly, he stood behind the glass, watching her. "You turned him into a weapon," she said. "We saved what was left," he replied. "You should be proud. He's stronger than you." Kara stepped closer. "Let him go." The man shook his head. "You still don't understand. This isn't about your brother, it's about our species. What happens when you stop playing by the rules? When you remove pain, fear, limits." She looked at the pod. "He's still in." "There," she said. "I'll bring him back." Suddenly the pod lit up. Warning alarms flashed. System override detected. The fluid began to drain. The glass opened. Callan's body dropped to the ground, but he didn't fall. He stood. His eyes opened. They were glowing blue, like the predator. "Kara," he said. Her heart skipped. "You remember me?" He took one step forward, then another, but his voice changed. Glitching. Low. Robotic. "I remember. Mission. Destroy." Kara stepped back. No, Callan, it's me. Your sister." He screamed, not in pain, in command, and the walls split open. Security. Bots rolled out, weapons drawn. Kara ran through the fire, through the metal, dodging lasers, jumping over cables. Behind her, Callan chased, faster, stronger, not human anymore, but something inside her didn't give up. Not yet. She escaped through a side tunnel and sealed the gate behind her, heart pounding, breath sharp, her mind racing. She made it back to the main level, collapsed in her room, eyes wide, hands shaking. She had found the truth. Her brother, the project, the weapon. And now they were coming for her. In the council chamber, a vote began. "Terminate the human?" "No," the elder said. "We watch. The game is not over. She's unstable. She's unpredictable." "She's the hole we never saw coming," the elder said. "Let's see what falls through it next." Kara didn't sleep. She sat in her dark room, legs pulled close to her chest, her eyes staring at the floor. Her brother was alive, but not himself. Not anymore. He remembered her name and still tried to kill her. Something inside him was broken, or, worse, rewritten. The station alarms never sounded, no warnings, no alerts, as if nothing had happened. But Kara knew better. They were covering it up, just like everything else. She needed help, not from the coalition, not from the officers. She needed someone who still believed in truth. There was only one name that came to her mind. Sero. He was a hacker, a smuggler. Part of the cleaning crew now, after a deal with the military. Most thought he was useless. But Kara remembered how he used to crack security doors with a spoon. She found him in the maintenance tunnel's greasy board sitting on a pile of metal scraps. "You owe me," she said. He looked up, blinking. "Lieutenant? I thought you were off breaking champions and punching monsters." "I'm breaking out," she replied. "I need eyes." Doors opened, files pulled. Sero looked around. "Why me?" "Because you hate them too." He stood. "All right," he said. "Let's leave a mark. Plan. Escape." They had 12 hours before security would realize Kara was missing from duty. Sero worked fast. wrote code that made it look like Kara was in her room, sleeping, breathing, a perfect loop. Meanwhile, Kara prepared. She stole rations, maps, a shock rifle. Not enough to fight a war, but enough to run, and maybe enough to find the lab again. Because there was one thing she had noticed during the fight with Callan. When she said his name, he hesitated. Just for a second. That meant he was still in there. Somewhere. "Ready?" Cero asked. "Not even close," Kara said. "Let's go." They moved through level 9, where the ventilation shafts were wide enough to crawl through and the guards rarely checked. Down to the engine deck, where the old pipes hummed like quiet voices. Cero tapped his wristband. "I've unlocked the docking bay. You'll have 90 seconds before the system notices." "More than enough," Kara said. She turned to him. "Why are you helping me?" Cero shrugged. "I like you, and I hate secrets. Simple." She smiled. Just a little. Then she ran. In the control tower, alarms started. Commander Thrall stared at the flashing screen. Rain's gone. Dr. Zorix appeared beside him. "She found Subject X9, didn't she?" "Worse," Thrall said. "She survived it. What do we do?" Thrall looked toward the stars. "She's off the board now. We can't predict her moves anymore." Kara launched in a small scout ship, fast, silent, built for speed, not weapons. She didn't need guns. She needed to find the old lab. The one where Callan had been kept. And she knew where to start. The Grave Belt, a ruined field of ships, destroyed during the old uprising. No one went there now. Too dangerous. Too full of ghosts. But Kara had seen something in the files. Coordinates linked to Project Mimic, hidden in old battle logs. If the Coalition wanted to hide something, it would be there. The ship flew fast through space. Kara stared out the window. Memories of her brother came back. His smile, his dumb jokes, the way he tried to fix things, even when he had no idea how. She touched the dog tag around her neck. "Callan's. I'm coming for you," she whispered. Suddenly, the ship shook. Warning lights blinked. Tracking signal detected. She jumped. To the console. They had found her. 2 Coalition drones appeared behind her, fast and deadly. She pulled hard on the controls. The ship spun through broken wreckage, dodging debris. She flew low past a ruined battleship. One drone hit a metal wall and exploded. The other kept coming. Kara fired the emergency flare. The heat threw off the drone's tracker. She turned sharply, straight, into a gas cloud, and vanished. Silence returned. She landed on a piece of rock floating between dead ships. The lab wasn't there, but a signal was. She followed it, on foot, across rusted halls of an old warship. Eventually she found a hidden door. No symbols, no guards, just darkness. She pushed it open. A voice spoke. Access accepted. Subject Rain recognized. She froze. They expected her. Inside, the walls were white and smooth. Not broken like the outside. Clean. Cold. She walked slowly. Rooms opened as she passed. Test rooms, cryo chambers, empty beds. She saw pictures, files, names, dozens of humans, all tested. All labeled. Some were kids, some were old, and some like her were soldiers. Then she saw the worst room. Clones, half-formed bodies in glass tanks. One of them looked like Callan, but not quite. Suddenly lights turned red. A voice echoed, "Welcome home, Lieutenant." She turned. The hidden figure stood at the far end, now face to face, no screens, no glass, just him and her. "You followed the trail," he said. "Good." "You lied," she said. "We created. You broke my brother." "No," he said. "We upgraded him, like we plan to upgrade you." She raised her rifle. "Try it." He didn't move. "Do you want to know why he hesitated?" the man asked. Kara froze. "He remembers you," the man said. "That's why you're dangerous. That's why we need you dead or under control." She fired. The man dropped but turned to smoke, a hologram. It was a trap. Gas poured from the walls. Kara fell to one knee. She reached for her mask, but it was gone. She tried to run. Too slow. Her eyes blurred. Then she saw a shape in the mist. Tall, human, Callan. He reached toward her, and just before she blacked out, he said her name, not with coldness, but with pain. Kara woke up in a metal chair, tied, weak. A screen flickered in front of her, showing her memories, her battles, her fears. A voice spoke. "We will reprogram. The hole will be closed," she screamed, and deep inside, Callan watched from another room. His fists clenched, and he remembered who he was. Darkness, heavy, cold, empty. That's where Kara's mind floated. No noise, no light, just one thing echoing over and over. "You are not yourself. Let go." But Kara wasn't ready to let go. Not yet. Not ever. Somewhere deeper in the lab, Callan stood inside a locked chamber. His hands were covered in black gloves. His back was straight like a machine. But something in his face, just below the eyes, was still human. He stared at the screen. On it, Kara tied to a chair, breathing, struggling. Silent, behind him a tall officer entered the room. "Subject X9, the officer said. "Prepare for override. You are to finish her." Callan didn't move. "Did she fight back?" he asked. The officer blinked. "What?" Did she scream? Try to run? She's resisting memory wipe. But it won't matter. Her core will break soon, like the others. Callan closed his eyes. "I remember when she was 10. She climbed a fence to get my kite." "That memory is not useful," the officer said. "Delete it." But Callan opened his eyes, and for the first time they didn't glow. Kara's breathing was slow now. The machine above her hummed. Injecting program core, 32%, 45%, 61%. She twitched in pain. A tear rolled down her cheek, but inside her head, a voice began to whisper. Not the machine, not the enemy. It was Callan. "Kara, you're strong. You don't quit. They can't erase that." Her fingers moved, then her head twitched. Program inject failed. Warning, neural firewall detected. Subject is resisting override. The lights flickered. Kara opened her eyes. Bloodshot, angry, awake. "I'm still here," she growled. In the hallway, alarms blared. Callan had broken out. He moved fast, faster than the guards could follow. He reached the chamber door, slammed his fist into the controls. Metal bent. Kara looked up just as the door burst open. Callan stood there, no glowing eyes, no metal voice, just him. For a second, time stopped. "Callan," she whispered. He walked forward. His hands shook. His breathing was rough. "They said you were gone," Kara said. "They said they erased you." Callan knelt beside her. "I tried to forget you," he said. "They made me try. But you didn't." "No, I couldn't." Suddenly, gas exploded into the room. More guards arrived, red-armored, armed. The machine voice returned. "Subject X9 has gone rogue. Terminate both assets." Callan pulled Kara behind him, his back against the wall. She coughed, still weak. "I can't fight. You don't have to," Callan said. He charged. One punch. Metal broke. One throw. A guard slammed into the wall. But the gas kept pouring. Kara pushed herself to her feet. She looked at the glass window above them. A control panel sat behind it. "If I can reach that, I can shut it down." Callan nodded. He threw a broken pipe up, smashing the glass. Kara leapt, grabbed the edge, and climbed. Pain screamed through her body, but she didn't stop. She reached the panel. Typed fast, "Emergency shutdown. Confirmed." The gas vents hissed and stopped. The room fell silent. Only the sound of Kara's heavy breathing remained, but more footsteps echoed. Too many. Kara dropped down next to Callan. "We can't win this," she said. He looked at her. "Then we run." Together, they escaped through the back corridor. Callan led her through hidden paths, old tunnels only test subjects knew. They passed by more rooms, each worse than the last. Some filled with cages, some with machines, some with bodies. One had a wall covered in drawings, childlike. Kara stopped to look. Each picture was of a human, happy, sad, screaming, smiling. Callan stared too. "That was ours," he said. "A long time ago. We tried to remember our families." Kara put a hand on his shoulder. "You remembered me. That's enough." Finally, they reached a storage dock, one old ship, one last chance. But as they climbed in, a voice crackled on the radio. "You can run, Lieutenant Rain, but every hole you leave, we fill. You can't save him. You'll die trying." Kara grabbed the mic, her voice steady and low. "You made a mistake. You gave me a reason to fight. Now I'm not just a test subject. I'm the one coming for you." She threw the mic down. The ship roared to life. They launched, out in space. Their ship was small but fast. Callan sat in the back, fixing Kara's bleeding arm. "You sure you want to do this?" he asked. "There's no going back," she said. "Only forward." Callan looked down. "I remember them all. The others. The ones who didn't make it. Their faces. Then let's make sure their stories don't get buried." Far behind them, the hidden lab began to shift. Walls changed, doors locked, data vanished. They were covering their tracks, and in the council room above the clouds, the elders watched the escape. "She's still alive," one said. "She escaped with X9, another added. The oldest one smiled faintly. "And she thinks that was the worst we had to offer." Back on the ship, Kara opened a hidden case. Inside, a drive, the one she stole before leaving the lab. It had names, plans, secrets, proof. Callan looked at it. "What now?" Kara's eyes burned with fire. "Now we expose them, one system at a time." The stars looked peaceful, quiet, cold, unaware. But inside Kara's stolen ship, nothing was calm. She stood over the console, staring at the glowing screen. A map of the galaxy pulsed in red. Callan leaned on the wall behind her, his arms crossed. "Every red dot, that's a lab?" he asked. She nodded. 37 hidden labs. Some under planets, some inside old warships, one even inside a fake moon. All connected to Project Mimic? Worse. They're using what they learned from you, and they're building more. Callan clenched his fists. "We stopped them." One by one, Kara tapped the screen. First target, Vox Station, mid-size outpost near a mining colony. They're holding subjects there, mostly kids. Callan didn't blink. "Then we don't wait." The Plancero, the hacker who once helped Kara escape, was now their secret weapon. He worked from a hidden relay satellite, moving signals, cracking codes, blocking trackers. "Won't last long," he warned through the comms. "Once you hit Vox Station, the whole coalition will know someone's hitting back." "That's the idea," Kara replied. The infiltration Vox Station looked like a simple mining hub, gray, dull, harmless. But under the surface, it was a prison. Kara and Callan wore stolen uniforms. Their IDs? Faked. Their eyes? Sharp. They moved through the halls like ghosts. Callan's face was hidden under a mask. Too many people would recognize him. Too many still thought he was dead. Or worse, a weapon. Inside a locked room, Kara found 6 children. Scared. Pale, too quiet. One girl looked up. "Are you here to test us again?" "No," Kara said softly. "I'm here to take you home." The girl didn't speak. She just stared, like she didn't believe in home anymore. Callan moved ahead, toward the control room. He took down 2 guards without noise. His strength was still unnatural, but now he chose how to use it. Inside the command center, he planted Cero's device. The screens flickered, doors unlocked, sirens stayed silent. Vox station went dark. Kara led the kids to the ship. Some walked, some had to be carried. One boy held her hand the whole time. "I saw your face in a dream once," he whispered. She didn't answer, but her grip tightened. As they left, Callan looked back. He placed a charge on the door. A small one. Enough to melt the research files. Enough to erase the lab forever. He hit the trigger. The door burned. Sparks flew. Vox station, just like that, was no longer theirs. The message back, in space, Kara opened a communication channel. She didn't hide her face. "This is Kara Rain," she said. "The Coalition took my brother. They took your sons, your sisters, your neighbors. They said it was for peace. They lied." Her voice was calm, cold, clear. "We are not running anymore. We are fighting back." The message spread, fast, to cargo ships, pirate radios, broken satellites, across dusty colonies and frozen moons. It reached people who had lost family, people who had lost hope, people ready to rise. In the deep layers of space, one rebel group responded. They called themselves the Forgotten. A woman with metal arms replied to Kara's signal. "We've seen what they do to the ones they take," she said. "We're in. Just say where." Callan leaned in. "We're building something," he said. "A storm. Retaliation." The Coalition was silent for a while, but silence never lasted long. Soon they sent agents, drones, traps, lies. News stories claimed Kara was a terrorist. They showed fake footage of Callan hurting civilians, but more people had seen the truth, and more voices joined the signal. The second strike, another lab, this time on a dead planet called Tarnis 5. No guards. Too easy. Kara and Callan entered with caution. Inside, they found something worse than guards. Clones. Dozens of Callan copies, floating in tanks, breathing, waiting. Some opened their eyes. All stared at him. Callan's chest rose and fell slowly. "They didn't stop with me," he said. "They kept going." Kara looked around. Each clone had a number. X10, X11, X12, up to X50. Then she found one labeled X51, modified to resist sibling triggers. Kara's stomach dropped. "They knew," she said. "They knew family could break their control." Suddenly, one clone's tank opened. X51 stepped out, same face as Callan, but colder, empty, fast. He attacked. Callan blocked the first strike. "Don't do this," he shouted, but X51 didn't speak, didn't blink, just fought. Kara tried to fire her stun gun, but X51 dodged. They weren't just making clones. They were making them faster, smarter, deadlier. Callan grabbed X51's arm, flipped him, pinned him. Kara hit the switch, activating the lab's shutdown. The floor shook. Alarms screamed. "You can't save all of them," Callan whispered, holding down his own mirror. "I know," Kara said, "but we'll stop what they became." The lab exploded behind them as they flew away. Callan didn't look back. Kara did. The network grows now. 5 rebel ships followed Kara. Then 10, then 23. Each one had a story. Each one had lost something, but now they had a mission. Back at Coalition HQ, the Council watched in silence. One said, "She's only human." Another replied, "She was." But the oldest said, "She became something else, something we didn't expect." What now? We burn what we cannot control. Final signal. Kara stood before her new crew, Callan beside her, a wall of rebels. Behind them, She tapped the drive she had stolen from the first lab. "This," she said, "has every location, every name, every secret. We will leak it. We will free the ones still held. We will expose the truth." The crowd was silent. Then someone raised a fist, then another, then all of them. Callan whispered. "They started a war." Kara nodded. "We'll finish it." The fleet was silent. Dozens of rebel ships floated in the black sky, their lights dimmed, their weapons ready. In the center, Kara's ship led them, its engine humming like a beating heart. On the deck, Kara stood beside Callan. Behind them, the crew waited for her words. "This is it," she said. "Coalition Command is hiding in the core of Sector 12, deep underground, shielded, surrounded." She paused. "They think we can't get in." Callan stepped forward. "They think I'm still one of them." The crew didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They just nodded. They were ready. The plan: Kara, Callan, and a strike team would enter through an old service tunnel, one that Callan once used when he was a weapon. The rebels above would distract the main guards with a fake attack on the orbital defense ring. Everything depended on timing. Everything depended on trust. As they neared the planet, Sero's voice came through the comms. "Jamming sensors now. You have 6 minutes before they see through it." Kara looked at Callan. He nodded. "Let's end this." The descent. They landed quietly near a broken mining shaft. Wind howled. Dust danced. Below their feet, the heart of the Coalition waited, full of secrets, machines, and monsters. They climbed down. The tunnel was tight, wet, old. Kara could feel the weight of the world above her, but she didn't slow, not even when the first security drones flew in. Callan moved first, fast, silent, deadly. One swing, one crack, one broken drone. They kept going. At the end of the tunnel was a door with no handle. Callan placed his palm on the wall. For a moment, nothing. Then a voice. "Welcome back, X9." The door opened. Inside the beast, the walls of Coalition Command were white and clean, like a hospital or a graveyard. Kara hated it. It smelled of false peace. They moved through empty halls. No alarms. No guards. Too quiet. Callan froze. "They know we're here." Kara nodded. "Let's give them something to fear." The throne room. They reached the core chamber, a huge circular room filled with machines, wires, and giant screens, and in the center, on a raised platform, stood the Prime Elder. Old, tall, cold. He wore a silver robe and a crown of light. Next to him, 2 armored guards, silent, still. "So," the Prime Elder said, "you made it. The failure, the mistake, the girl with a loud voice." Kara stepped forward. No more hiding, no more stealing people, no more lies. The Elder smiled. "We never lied. We evolved. Humanity needed order, needed control. We gave them purpose." "You gave them cages," she said. "And still," the Elder replied, "you struggle like all the rest. You think you broke the system, Kara Rain, but all you did was leave a hole." Callan's voice was low. "No, she became the hole, and it's swallowing you." The guards attacked. Kara ducked. Callan moved fast. One guard fell, shattered by a punch. The other shot fire from his gauntlet. Kara rolled, drew her sidearm, and fired back. Direct hit. The guard dropped. The Elder stepped down slowly. "You think this matters? You think breaking one lab, saving a few children, changes the universe?" Kara pulled out the data drive. "This changes everything. The people already know. The truth is out." The Elder laughed. "They will forget. They always forget." Kara threw the drive into the console behind him. It snapped in. The screens around them lit up, showing names, experiments, victims, locations, every secret, every crime. Broadcasted. Outside, in every system, on every screen. The truth exploded. Mothers cried. Soldiers dropped weapons. Officials ran. The galaxy was watching. The Elder's voice changed. Dark, furious. You don't understand. You ruined the future. No, Kara said. I gave it back to them. Final blow. The Elder tried to run. Callan grabbed him. Where do you think you're going? I made you, the Elder shouted. You were my best design. Callan stared into his eyes. Then this is your final flaw. He threw the Elder against the command pillar, crushing it. Lights dimmed, the base shook, self-destruct activated. Kara. And Callan ran, walls fell, fire followed. As they reached the upper tunnel, Kara stopped. She pulled a small object from her belt. A beacon. Are you sure? Callan asked. She nodded. If we leave this base standing, they'll build again. She placed the beacon on the wall, then ran. They reached the surface just as their shuttle arrived. Callan pulled her in. They flew away, fast. Behind them, the mountain exploded. Coalition command was gone. Aftermath weeks passed. Across the stars, change had begun. Protests, trials, uprisings, labs were shut down. Children were returned. Governments fell. Some rose, but one thing remained in every voice. Kara Rain lit the fire. Kara didn't stay to lead. She left command to others. She, Callan, and Zero vanished into the black, helping quietly, freeing others, watching. Callan called it peace. Kara just called it balance. Epilogue. Some say she died on the day the mountain exploded. Others say she became a ghost, striking from the dark. But one story spread the fastest. A child once asked, "Why is there a hole in the stars where the mountain used to be?" His mother answered, "That's not a hole. That's where..." Hope got out.